Hi there, you want an 800 on the SAT math section? Then continue to watch this video and remember to like, subscribe, and comment below where you can vent your frustration and we will have a nice therapy session for everyone. See? It's a win-win. Remember, subscribing means you get to see all my other testing strategies for this darn test. In this video, we will cover section 4 math with calculator from SAT practice test 1. We will use the elite approach. We will cut through all the red tape and show you the heart of each problem and how you could jam your pencil right through it. Want to see the step-by-step standard red tape blood-sucking mind-numbing detailed approach? Watch my standard approach videos links below. Hey, what can I say? I'm an engineer. Paying relentless attention to detail is kind of like what I do for a living. With that said, let's do this and crush this darn test. Section 4 math with a calculator. So let's start. So question 1, there just seems to be a graph on which interval is the target rate strictly increasing and strictly decreasing. This one should take about 20 seconds to do. Strictly increasing, then strictly decreasing. So this is strictly increasing and strictly decreasing. There's no flat area. So this is where it happens. So if you look at the answers, the only one that has an answer between 40 and 60 is choice B. Question 2 is a simple plug-in and test. So this one should take about 20 seconds to do. If y equals kx, where k is a constant, and y equals to 24 when x is equal to 6, so it's 24 is equal to k6, k is equal to 4. What is the value of y when x equals to 5? So you plug in 5 in here, and k is 4, so that means y is equal to 20. Answer is C. Boom. Question 3 seems like a parallel lines case. So they tell you that lines L and M are parallel, and lines S and T are parallel, which allows you to find all the angles where they all intersect. Looks like this is about a 20-second question. If the measure of 1 is 35 degrees, what is the measure of 2? So if this is angle 2, this is also angle 2, this is also angle 2. So since 1 is less than 35, 2 must be greater than 90. Since 1 is less than 90, 2 must be greater than 90. And the only answer that's greater than 90 is D, 140. Nice. Question 4. This is a basic algebra question. This should take about 10 seconds to do. If 16 plus 4x is 10 more than 14, so this is equal to 24. What is the value of 8x? So what you need to do is take 16, move it to the other side. So 4x is equal to 8. And since 8x is twice 4, so multiply this whole thing by 2. This then becomes 16. Answer is C. Good. Problem number 5. So it looks like a bunch of scatter plots that we need to do. Which of the following graphs best shows a strong negative association between D and T? Since you're just choosing which scatter plot to do, this is actually a 10-second problem. So negative association means a minus slope. So a minus slope has a upper left to lower right trend, and the only one that has that is choice D. That was easy. Number 6. So number 6, we take a look at it. They first give you some kind of relationship. So it looks like it's going to be a ratio type problem. A hospital stores one type of medicine in 2 decagram containers. Based on the information given in the box above, how many 1 milligram doses are there in one 2 decagram container? In all honesty, this is a 20-second question. So you start with 2 decagrams, 2 dg. So remember, this is over 1. To eliminate dg from the numerator, you must put in the denominator. So put dg in the denominator, and the relationship is 10 to 1. So you put in 10 grams in the numerator. Then you need to eliminate grams in the numerator by putting it into the denominator. So you have 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. So you put 1,000 milligrams in the numerator. So grams cancel, decagrams cancel. I'm left with milligrams. So it's 2 times 4 zeros. The only answer with that is D. Command and conquer. So number 7 looks like they give you a graph. If you notice, there seems to be missing a units on the y-axis, and it seems like there are 5 cities. All right, so let's see what the question is asking. The number of rooftops with solar panel installation in 5 cities is shown in the graph above. If the total number of installations is 27,500, what is an approximate label for the vertical axis of the graph? Looking at the answers, it looks like these are order of magnitude difference, so I don't have to be that precise. In all honesty, this is a 20-second question because there is a graph to look at and a small passage to read. So I will approach this by just drawing a line over at 5, kind of good approximation. So 5 times 5 is equal to 25. I just need to get into the ballpark here. I'm missing 3 zeros. So I'm missing 3 zeros. This is in the thousands. The answer only with 1,000 is C. That was easy. Number 8. This seems to be an absolute value here, equal to 0. This is actually a 10-second question, so it's fairly easy. So what value n is n minus 1 plus 1 equal to 0? Since this can never be a negative number, this thing is always greater than 1 because we're always adding 1. So the least this number could ever be is 0. So there is no answer. Like a boss. Question 9. Questions 9 and 10 refer to the following information. So I'm giving an equation here. This This is in my standard form, y is equal to mx plus b. This is my b term, this is my mx, y term. And the speed of a sound wave in air depends on air temperature. The formula above shows the relationship between a, the speed of a sound wave in feet per second, that's the units, and T, the air temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. Which of the following expresses the air temperature in terms of the speed of a sound wave? So just reading this took about 10 seconds. This is actually a 10-second problem for number 9. It's not that difficult. It's just rearranging the air temperature and speed formula. So I have A is equal to 1052 plus 1.08 T. I need to get T by itself, move 1052 to the other side, and divide by 1.08. Answer is this. The one that comes close is A. And boom. Number 10. Which of the following air temperatures will the speed of a sound wave be closest to 1,000 feet per second? So this one you do have to use your calculator. So far this is my first calculated use of a question. This one should take about 10 seconds to do. So I'm giving my speed to be 1,000 feet per second. So it means 1,000 is equal to 1052 plus 1.08 T. Move 1,052 to the other side. I get minus 52 is equal to 1.08 T. Divide both sides by 1.08. T is equal to, if you plug into your calculator, 48 degrees. Answer is B. So if you look at here, the answers are fairly close to each other. So they're not order of magnitude off. They're actually very close. So in this particular case, you do need to use a calculator to find a precise answer. So that wasn't too hard, right? So please, just a reminder, please like and subscribe and leave a comment below. It will greatly help this channel out. Thank you. Let's move on. Number 11. Which of the following numbers is not a solution to the inequality? So these are inequalities. You have an algebraic expression. So this is about a 10-second problem. So what do we got? I got 3x minus 5 is greater than or equal to 4x minus 3. So I want a positive x. So that means I'm subtracting 3x from both sides and I add 3 to both sides. So this will leave me with minus 2 is greater than or equal to x. Choice A is the only one that does not satisfy. Number 12. Seems like we're given a graph. We have something to read. So this should take about 30 seconds to 1 minute. The number of seeds in each 12 apples, number of apples. Based on the histogram above of the following, which is closest to the average number of seeds per apple? So unfortunately, this one you do need to use your calculator because the answers are very, very close together. You can't take a shortcut that much for this one. So it's 2 times 3 plus 4 times 5 plus 6 plus 7 times 2 plus 9 times 3. If you punch this into your calculator, you would get 73. But then you need to divide by 12. Why? Because that's the number of apples. So 73 divided by 12, if you punch it in your calculator, 73 divided by 12, that gives me 6. The answer is C. And boom. Number 13. Okay, it's a small passage. Go to the end. Which of the following categories accounts for approximately 19% of all the survey respondents? So this one deals with percentages. Okay, and keep that in mind as we go through the question. So we're given some data that we need to digest. So it looks like this will take about a 1-minute question to do. A group of 10th grade students respond to a survey that asks which math course they were currently enrolled in. The survey data were broken down as shown in the table above. Which of the following categories accounts for approximately 19% of all the survey respondents? So we're looking at females taking geometry, female taking geometry, which is this number, females taking algebra 2, which is this number, males taking geometry, which is this number, and males taking algebra 1, which is this number. So this is the total that we need to look at. So we're looking at what gives me closest to 19%. So the fastest way to do this is to take 310 times 0.19, and that will give me 58.9. So which number is closest to 58.9 of all of these? It is this number, which is male and geometry, which means the answer is C. Awesome. Number 14. Also a passage question. So you kind of skip to the end. Which will change the most if the 24-inch measurement is removed from the data? So that means you have a data set and you're taking out what appears to be the largest value. Keep that in mind as we go through the question. So again, it looks like we have a large amount of data we need to look through some passages. Of the mean, median, or range of the values listed, which will change the most if the 24-inch measurement is removed from the data. This is just a definition type problem. That means mean, medium, and range. You need to know what these mean. This is actually a 10-second problem. The one that would change the most is your range. The range actually in this case is 8 through 24. If you knock out the 24, the range becomes 8 through 16. So that changes the most. Number 15. Questions 15 refer to the following information. I'm given a graph. The graph above displays the total cost C in dollars of renting a boat for H hours. So it looks like this is a linear graph. So it looks like each box is 1, but here each 4 boxes is 1. What does the C-intercept represent in the graph? So the C-intercept is the total cost, which is over here, so that means if you don't spend any hours on the boat, you still have to pay C, which means C is the initial cost of renting the boat. It literally says initial cost. The answer is A. So in reality, this is a 10-second problem. 16. Which of the following represents the relationship between H and C? So if we look at H here, H is my actual slope, my C is my B, so this is my M and B, so this is Y equals MX plus B. I'm looking for the slope, so let's take the first number here. So if I look between this number and this number, my change in Y is 3 because 8 minus 5 is 3, and my change in X is 1. Which of these has a slope of 1? So far the answer is C. That's why this is a 10-second. Excellent. Number 17. So we're given a graph, we're given something to read. It doesn't look that bad. It looks like this will be a 10-second problem. The complete graph of the function f is shown in the xy plane above. For what value of x is the value of f of x or y at its minimum? So because it's a complete graph, there's no other graph I need to worry about. The minimum here on the y-axis is here. If I look at the labels on the graph, it seems like each box is 1. So that means going backwards, this is -1, -2, -3. So the answer in this case is B, -3. Like a boss. Number 18. It looks like we're given a system of inequalities. In the xy plane, if 0, 0 is a solution to the system of inequalities above, which the following relationship between A and B must be true. This line looks like it's about a 10-second problem. The reason is because you're going to take 0, 0 and plug them into here. So 0 is less than A and 0 is greater than B, which means A is positive, B is negative. So that means A is greater than B, which means the answer is A. You got it. Number 19. A small passage, skip to the end. How many salads were sold that day? Okay, so it seems like we're selling food. Let's keep that in mind as we go through the question. A food truck sells salads for $6.50 each and drinks for $2 each. The food truck's revenue from selling a total of 209 salads and drinks in one day was $836.50. How many salads were sold that day? So we're looking for salads, and that's the total. So this is a part total type problem. From the work you have to do this one, it seems like this will take about 2 minutes to do. So how do you approach this? So we know that salads is equal to $6.50 each. We know that drinks is equal to $2 each. And we know the total amount is 209. So the first step is to set up in the equality, which is salad plus drinks is equal to 209. This is the count, not the actual price. So once you have this, we could do the salad first. With the salad first, we could set this is equal to X. So X times $6.50 because that's the number of salads times 50 cents plus 209 minus X times $2, and this is my drinks. So this is salad portion and that's the drink portion. So reason why we could use this 209 because this is the total minus the salads, and that gives me drinks because I get that from this equation. And this is $2 because that's the dollar amount per drink, and $6.50 is the dollar amount per salad. What we need to do now is to solve for X. So this is $6.50 times X plus 418 minus 2X. This is equal to the total we have above, which is $836.50. Combine like terms, so I have and subtract 418 from both sides. So that means I have 4.5x is equal to, so I have 836.5 minus 418. So that gives me to 418.5. Divide both sides by 4.5. Answer is 93. So that is why this is a 2-minute question. No problem. Number 20. It looks like there's a passage we need to read. Go to the end. Which of the following represents the original price of the computer in terms of P? So we're looking for the price of the original computer in terms of P. So keep that in mind as we go through the passage. And the answers are in P, or a relationship to P. So in reality, this should take about 30 seconds to do. Alma bought a laptop computer at a store that gave a 20% discount off its original price. The total amount she paid for the cashier was P dollars. So this is the total amount was P dollars, including the 8% sales tax on the discounted price, which the following represents the original price of the computer in terms of P. So what we need to do is total price stands by itself, and she gets that by taking the original price, and she hadn't made a discount. So since it's 20% off, she paid 80% of the original price, and there's sales tax. So the tax is 8%, but you don't just pay the tax, you pay the total price plus the tax. So that is 1.08, and then you move all of this over to the other side. So you take this and divide by 0.8 and 108. So that means the only answer that has that is D. Number 21. It's a table and also a passage. Skip to the end. What is the probability that the person belonged to group Y? Okay, so let's keep that in mind as we go through the passage. Seems like we're given some graph we need to do. There's some reading that we need to do. If a person is chosen at random from those who recalled at least one dream, what is the probability that the person belonged to group Y? So this is actually a 20-second problem. So this is group Y, dreams recalled during 1 week. So at least one dream seems like it's everything above here. So it's gotta be this. So we know that the total is 200. So we have to exclude the people who don't recall any dreams. So it's 200 minus 36, and that gets to 164. And 11 plus 68, 79. So 79 over 164 is the answer. Choice C. Boom. So that wasn't too bad, right? What else is easy is just please remember to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, tell me what you like, what you don't like, and we'll try to cover it in a future video. Thank you. Question 22. It looks like we're given a whole bunch of data we need to sniff through. So this is the years. We have years in the x-axis, and we have the different categories here. 22. Which of the following best approximates the average rate of change in the annual budget for agriculture and natural resources in Kansas from 2008 to 2010? Okay, so we go to agricultural resources in Kansas, which means it's the first row, 2008 through 2010, which is here. So that means the difference here, because the numbers are large enough, so just 488 minus 458, that comes out to 130. Divide by 2, which is about 65, and then add 3 zeros. Closest number is B. So this is actually a 10-second problem. Awesome. 23. Of the following, which program ratio of its 2007 budget to its 2010 budget is closest to the human resources program ratio of its 2007 budget to its 2010 budget? So because you have a few calculations you need to do, this is actually a 1-minute problem. But there's a faster way to do this. Go and find the original, which is human resources budget, and it seems like they're all from 2007 to 2010. Okay, and we'll compare it to the human resources, which is here. So this is what we're comparing it to. So what you need to do is from 2007 to 2010. So to save some time, this is really 59 over 40. This is closest to 1.475. So now we got to do the same for all the other ones. I need a number that's close to 1.475. So on the top number here, I need to take the 2010 number and divide by the 2007 number. So this is 488 over 373. So 488 divided by 373, that's 1.3. So for education, it's 30 over 21, which is 1.42. Highways is 1.77 over 1.47. 1.77 divided by 1.47. This is 1.2. And public safety is 464 over 263. So 464 divided by 263, and this is 1.76. The closest one is education, B. So that's why this is about a 1-minute problem. You do have some calculations you need to do. You got it. Number 24. Which of the following is an equation of a circle in the xy plane with the center 0, 4 and the radius endpoint 4 over 3, 5? The best way to do this is to draw this out. My center's at 0, 4. I draw my radius. My endpoint here is at 4 over 3, 5, which means my change in y is 1. My change in x is 4 over 3. So if you notice that so you do need the equation of a circle, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So I have a triangle that I could use, which means I plug in my x's and y's. This is the equation of a circle. So this is 4 over 3 squared plus 1 squared is equal to r squared, which means this becomes 16 over 9 plus 1 is equal to r squared. So I have to simplify this more. 4. This is 9 over 9 plus 16, so this is 25 over 9 is equal to r squared. R, so I need this as the answer. So I have my r squared, I have my center. So x minus 0 is x, so they all have x. Y minus k in this case is 4, so I have here, and this is my r. Answer is A. This is a 2 to 3 minute problem. That was one-handed. Number 25. Seems like a small passage. After approximately how many seconds will the ball hit the ground? Alright, so it seems like a ball is going to fall. Let's keep that in mind as we go through the passage. So it seems like we're given a second order problem. There's a square in the term. The equation above expresses the approximate height h in meters of a ball t second after it's launched vertically upward from the ground with an initial velocity of 25 meters per second. So vi is equal to 25 meters per second. After approximately how many seconds will the ball hit the ground? So it hits the ground. So that means my h is equal to 0. So 0 is equal to minus 4.9 t squared plus 25 t. So it looks like I factor out 1 t and divide it out. So that means 0 is equal to minus 4.9 t plus 25. I move this to the other side. That's pretty much close to 5. So 5 t is equal to 25. Divide both sides by 5. T is equal to 5. Answer is D. So in reality, this took about 30 seconds to do. That's what I'm talking about. Number 26. Another small passage. Let's go to the end. If type A trees produce 144 pairs, how many pairs did type B trees produce? Okay, so we're talking about tree production. Let's keep that in mind as we go through the question. Katerina is a botanist studying the production of pears by two types of pear trees. She noticed that type A trees produce 20% more pears than type B trees did. Based on Katerina's observation, if type A trees produce 144 pairs, how many pairs did the type B trees produce? What we need to do is set up the ratio. A is equal to 1.2b. A is 144 is equal to 1.2b. Divide by 1.2. Onto the calculator. 144 divided by 1.2. B is equal to 120. Answer is B. So in reality, this is a 20-second problem. Just like that. Number 27. Seems like a mixture of tables and passage. Let's skip to the very end. Which of the following is reasonable approximation of the number of earthworms to a depth of 5 centimeters beneath the ground surface in the entire field? Okay, let's keep that in mind as we go through the passage. A square field measures 10 meters by 10 meters. So we're just going to draw it out. So you have here, this is 10 meters by 10 meters. 10 students each mark off a randomly selected region of the field. Each region is square and has a side length of 1 meter. So each one of these is 1 by 1. And there are no two regions overlapping. The students count the earthworms contained in the soil to a depth of 5 centimeters beneath the ground surface in each region. The results are shown in the table below. So that means there are 10 here. So each one is 1 square meter. And because the whole lot is 10 times 10 or 100 square meters, there's only 10 that were surveyed. Which of the following is a reasonable approximation of the number of earthworms to a depth of 5 centimeters beneath the ground surface entire field? So if you look at all these are roughly 150-ish. So it's looking for the entire field. So because the ratio is 10, I gotta take this number and multiply by 10. So that means this is 1500. The answer in this case is B. In reality, this is a 30-second problem. Let's move on. So number 28. It looks like I'm giving Cartesian coordinates or quadrants. If the system of inequalities y is greater than or equal to 2x plus 1 and y is greater than 1/2 x minus 1 is graphed in the xy plane above, which quadrant contains no solution to the system? So the key word here is system. So that means this guy satisfies both of these. So looking at the first graph here, looking at the first equation, so I have a plus 1, so let's put in a y plus 1 here. And because the slope is 2, it has a much sharper rise. So this is the second equation has a minus 1, so let's put in minus 1 here. And because it's a half, it has a much shallower rise. So the only area that where they both intersect is here, which is quadrants 1, 2, and 3, which means 4 has no solution. The answer is quadrant 4. So this is a fairly easy question to do. This should actually take you about 20 seconds to do. You just need to graph it. The difficulty is not that hard for this. And boom. Okay, number 29. For a polynomial p of x, the value of p of 3 is minus 2. Which of the following must be true? The keyword must be true about p of x. A, you look at the answers here. So when you see the word factored, which means it crosses the x-axis, and there's no guarantee that this or this, that it crosses the x-axis. For instance, you can have something like this. So when x is 3, you get y of minus 2, which is here, and this is a polynomial where you don't have any factors, which means the only answer to this is D. This is really a 10-second problem. There you go. Okay, number 30. So we're given a graph, looks like a parabola. That's the equation you gave me of the parabola. A seems to be at the vertex, the lowest point in this case. So this is at x of 1, and it looks like it's slightly below 15. So maybe it's minus 16-ish. That's the point. Which of the following is an equivalent form of the equation of the graph shown in the xy plane above, from which the coordinates of the vertex A can be identified as constants in the equation? So that means you need to use this. You need to use these points in your equation, in your answer. So just based on that, none of these make sense. The only one that does is D, because I have x of 1 and a y of minus 16. So what else is another way to do this problem? The other way to do this problem is to actually graph it out a little bit, and I'll show you how to do it. So based on this, you graph it out. So normally you have your xy plane and you draw your standard x squared. If you were to move it to the right by 1, you need to say x minus 1 squared, which means it's this, which is now this point here. And then if you're going to lower it to minus 16, which is here, you do minus 16, which means it's this. This is the other only way to get to this answer. So in reality, this problem should take you about 30 seconds to do. It's not that difficult. It's a matter of you be able to A, identify where the vertex is, and B, if you can, do it through the graphing method. So that wasn't too difficult. You know what else is not difficult? Please remember to like and subscribe and comment below. Hit the bell. Let me know what you think. It would be much appreciated. Thank you. So we're past the multiple choice part of the questions. We are now in the free answer portion. 31. It's another passage. Skip to the end. What is a possible amount of time in hours that it could take Wyatt to husk 72 dozen ears of corn? Okay, let's keep that in mind as we go through the passage. Wyatt can husk at least 12 dozen ears of corn per hour, at most 18 dozen ears of corn per hour. So you have a minimum and a maximum. Based on this information, what is a possible amount of time in hours that it will take Wyatt to husk 72 dozen ears of corn? So at a minimum, if he does 12, it'll be 72 over 12, which is 6. And at the maximum, which is 72 over 18, which is 4. So anywhere between 4 and 6 hours. The answer is 5 hours, if you want to put that down. Awesome. Number 32. Seems like a passage. Just jumping ahead to see the question. What is the maximum possible value of X that will keep the combined weight of the truck driver and boxes below the bridge posted? Okay. The posted weight limit for a covered wooden bridge in Pennsylvania is 6,000 pounds. So this is a maximum. A delivery truck is carrying X identical boxes, each weighing 14 pounds, will pass over the bridge. If combined weight of the empty truck and its driver is 4,500 pounds, what is the maximum possible value of X that will keep the combined weight of the truck driver and boxes below the bridge's posted speed limit? So 6 minus 4.5 is equal to 1,500 pounds. So this is the total number you're allowed to have, and you divide that with the pounds per box. So it's 1,500 divided by 14, and that will give me to 107.1. So the maximum number is 107 boxes. So in reality, this is a 30-second problem. Number 33, so we're given a graph. The x-axis looks linear, the y-axis looks linear, so this is in millions. According to the line graph above, the number of portable media players sold in 2008 is what fraction of the total numbers sold in 2011? So 2008 number is here, it's 100. 2011 is here, which is 160. So 100 over 160 is 100 divided by 160 is 62.5%. So in reality, this actually took 10 seconds. That's what I'm talking about. Number 34. It's another small passage. Let's skip to the end. What is the total number of 30-minute time slots the station can sell for Tuesday and Wednesday? Okay, let's keep that in mind as we go through the passage. A local television station sells time slots for programs in 30-minute intervals. If a station operates 24 hours a day, every day of the week, what is the total number of 30-minute time slots the station can sell for Tuesday and Wednesday? So you start with 24 hours. There are 2 half hours in every hour, and there are 2 days that we have to do. So 24 times 2 is 48. 48 times 2 is 96. The answer is 96. In reality, this is a 10-second problem. To the moon. So number 35, we're given a diagram. It looks like a cylinder. It tells me the height of the cylinder. A dairy farmer uses a storage silo that is in the shape of a right circular cylinder above, which means there's a right angle. If the volume of the silo is 72 cubic yards, what is the diameter of the base of the cylinder in yards? So the area of a cylinder is pi r squared times the h, which is the height, is equal to the volume, which is in the case is 72 pi. My h is 8 in this case. I cross out 72 from both sides. I divide both sides by 8, and I have r squared is equal to 9. So I take the square root of both sides. R is equal to 3. But since this is the radius, I need the diameter. diameter, I need to multiply this by 2, which means the diameter is equal to 6. So in reality, this is a fairly easy question, and you need about 30 seconds to complete. With one hand timed behind my back. Number 36. This is a polynomial with 1 over that polynomial. For what value x is the function of h above undefined? So that means this has to be equal to 0. So the trick here is to set this equals to 8 or something like that, and then you factor what adds up to 4, multiplies gives me 4, so that means 2. So what you could do is a plus 2 squared is equal to 0, and a of course is x minus 5 plus 2 is equal to 0, because either you could use either term and set it to 0. So you solve for that. X minus 3 is equal to 0, x is equal to 3. So in reality, this is a 30-second problem. As you can see, it's not that difficult at all. And boom. Number 37. Jessica opened a bank account that earns 2% of interest compounded annually. Her initial deposit was $100. She used the expression of $100 times x to the t to find the value of her account after t years. What is the value of x in this expression? So this is compound interest. So if you earn just 2%, you have to add in the original amount, the whole number back into it, which is 1 plus 0.02, which is equal to 1.02. This is equal to x. That was one hand. Number 38. This is the last question in this section. Definitely another passage. Let's go to the end. After 10 years, how much more money will Tyson initial deposit have earned than Jessica initial deposit? So this deals with some kind of money. Let's keep that in mind as we go through the passage. Jessica's friend Tyson found an account that earns 2.5% of interest compounded annually. Tyson made an initial deposit of $100 into this account. At the same time, Jessica made a deposit of $100 into her account. After 10 years, how much more money will Tyson's initial deposit would have earned than Jessica's initial deposit? So to do this problem, you need to apply the compound interest twice, once for Tyson and one for Jessica. Let's do Tyson first because he's the one that has a higher interest rate. So he starts with $100 and the interest rate is 1.025%, and this is to the 10. And you have to subtract that from Jessica's, which is 100 times 1.02 and also to the 10. So this is equal to the difference. So to make my calculation a little bit easier, I'm going to factor out the 100. So 100 square brackets 1.025 to the 10 minus 1.02 to the 10. And once you plug this into the calculator, you should get 6.1. And honestly, this should take about 1 minute to do this problem because you do have to punch in the calculator properly in order to get these answers proper. That wasn't so bad, was it? I know it seems difficult, but if you take the time, digest it, go through the problems again, and you'll see that most of the questions in the SAT have tricks and shortcuts to it. With that said, please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment below. I'll do my best to answer your question. You could even write down, I subscribed. That will help a lot. Thank you. Please also consider supporting this channel through Patreon. Your help would be greatly appreciated. Good luck to all of you. Please see the next video. Thank you. See you there.